Blessings. Welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. Today we're in Mark chapter 6, Matthew chapter 13, then we go backwards to chapter 9 through 11 verse 1, and then we jump forward to Matthew 14, and then we go over to Luke chapter 9. We're not going to get into Luke today because it was a mirror verse section about John the Baptist, pretty similar to the ones that we read today. Out of Mark. But let's start with Mark 6:1. There's a lot of good stuff today. When I say that, I'm like, recognize there's great stuff every day, but there's some good law enforcement stuff we're going to read today. Jesus leaves Capernaum and he goes to Nazareth. Nazareth is his hometown. It's where he was brought up. And he goes and he preaches in the synagogue at Nazareth. And the people there seem like they're going to get it. And then they recognize that his dad is a carpenter and his mom's Mary. And they turn on him just because of what they know is history. They're familiar with him. They disregard all the things that they've heard and say, wait a minute, we know who he is. He can't be who we have just heard and what we thought he was. It's a sad story. Then in 7 through 13, this is kind of cool. The 12 disciples, have been in a field training program with Jesus. He has been teaching them. He's taken advantage of teachable moments. He's healed. He's shown them. He's taught them. He's given them everything. And now the field training program's over, and he sends them out. It's what we do with our rookies, man. We train them up. We give them every tool that they need, and then we send them out. So think of that. Jesus has been preparing them this whole time. So I love the thought of that. And then verse 20, we get into King Herod and John the Baptist. King Herod, I think he actually liked John the Baptist, but he was a political enemy. So Herod's politics and his pride get the best of him, and he winds up beheading John the Baptist. And we see that Matthew, Mark, and in Luke today. Let's jump over into Matthew chapter 10. Jesus sends the 12 out. This is the end of the field training program, and he says, go, or do not go the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter the city of the Samaritans, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, growing up, this why would he skip us? Why would he just go to the Israelites and the Jews? Why does Jesus say, hey, stay away from the Gentiles? It's because it was not the time to teach the Gentiles. It's coming, and it's not like it's coming decades from now or years from now or months from now. It's coming quickly. But listen to this. Jesus has said, go to the Israelites, don't go to the Gentiles. If we back up just a couple of verses in chapter 9, verse 37 through 38, it gives us some insight on why Jesus said this. 9:37 to 38, then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Therefore, beseech the Lord of the harvest to send out workers into his harvest. Jesus was looking for a group of workers. He was looking for a group of people to go out to the Gentiles, not just the 12 disciples. He's looking for a much larger group to go out. Who better to send out than a kingdom of priests? If you had a kingdom of priests at your disposal, wouldn't you want to use them? I mean, this is the perfect time to activate them and send them out to the Gentiles to teach the world about the good news. And that's what the gospel actually literally means, good news. So who's this kingdom of priests? Exodus 19:6, God tells Moses, you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the sons of Israel. Jesus says, go out to the lost sons of Israel. Tell them the good news, and then we've got this kingdom of priests we can send out to the Gentiles, and we can spread this news to the whole world. It's kind of like Well, listen to what Jesus says in verse 10, chapter 10, verse 7. He says, as you go preaching, say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So go out into the land to the Israelites and say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Sounds like when Paul Revere rode through the countryside that night screaming, the British are coming, the British are coming. An alert to everybody. They're all on the same side. It activates them. They all come together and they fight the British. This is just what Jesus is saying to the disciples. Go into the countryside to the Israelites and say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Get them all to come together, and then let's go out and teach the world the gospel, the good news. I hope this makes sense, and I hope you don't look at this now and go, why was he going to the Israelites first? Because they had a job to do. Now, we know they didn't all come out and do that, but I think this is exactly what Jesus is speaking to. I think. I don't know. I'm just telling you. That's what I think. It's all here together. So, anyway. Okay. Big LEO takeaway. Law enforcement takeaway. 10:16. I didn't write it down. So, give me just 10:16 sounds like what a law enforcement officer, a Christian law enforcement officer, should look like. What should we look like? Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Sheep in the midst of wolves. So be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. We should be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. Do we not go out in compassion, grace, and mercy and try and minister to our community? But then when we are met with violence, we have to meet that violence with violence. That's just our job. So we go out in that fashion. And I love how that looks just like our calling. And then quickly in verses 32 and 33, it says, don't be ashamed to be a Christ follower. This is huge. You cannot miss this. Do not be ashamed of Jesus Christ. And if you need to start practicing it and confronting that fear, do it. Walk around your own home and just start saying Jesus' name out loud. You'd be amazed at what speaking that word, Christ, Jesus Christ, the power in that word, and how it gives you confidence and boldness to go out and speak His name. Pray that God will give you boldness if you need to, but do not be ashamed to be a Christ follower. 34 through 39. This is, read it, but and think of the parable Jesus taught of the guy who found the pearl in a field, and he went and sold everything he had to buy that pearl. I want to go up real quick. Nah, I just don't have time. Tomorrow, Matthew 14, we're going to pick up where we left off today. We're going to be in Mark 6, Luke 9, and John chapter 6. So read ahead, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Until then, you guys be safe.